Okay, here we go. Atlas Shrugged. It's a three-part. There's three parts to the film series. Okay, it's free on YouTube right now. Is it worth a watch? Ooh, that's a toss-up. Okay, part one's not too bad. Part two's not too bad. Part three's pretty bad. I don't know, or I feel at least they go downhill as they go on. Um, but there are some interesting ideas in the film, obviously, and there's obviously we've got some connections here that we're going to be talking about in this film. We'll be decoding out some stuff to do with Madonna, to do with the Hoover Dam. I'm actually not doing really any Hoover Dam number jumps in this, but well, apart from the fact that we're going to be doing some number jumps to 4-9, which is the projection out for the Hoover Dam that we've been looking at. We're also going to be looking at Madonna's death on 3-8. So, okay. What's interesting about the film, so I'm going to get into it, so spoiler alert, if you're desperate to go and watch it, probably go watch it first, but like I said, it's three parts. They're pretty long-winded. There's bits and pieces in the film that ain't too bad, and then there's a bit of blah, 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 you know. And the most annoying thing about the whole thing is they use different actresses and actors in each part. So they change every part. They've changed the actors and actresses, and it's very annoying. But if you can get past that kind of thing, and I think it's done on purpose. I really think because the overarching theme of the film is the degradation of the world in which we live in. Okay, and so it makes sense for them to, as time goes on with the actual films, to just. I saw this phrase the other day, to shitify it. Excuse my French, but enshittification. If you get a chance, look up it's a Norwegian Consumer Council video called enshittification. Okay, and it's again what old Matt talks on Quantum of Conscience about the basically just the degradation of things as time goes on. Okay, things get worse, and that's what's going on partly in this film as well. Anyway, where do I start? We're really going to be looking at part two, because in part two, what I'm going to explain here is that the main character in the film, this lady, the main character is kind of the head of a railway company, railway network, and so this is very interesting with the connection with Madonna and Train, 2662 numerology with Madonna, Gematria, and Train, and we've done so much stuff with the link with Train to Madonna before. It's just this was just as soon as I started watching the first one and it was about a train coming out. Oh, there's going to be something to do with Madonna in here, and sure enough, part two has, spoiler alert, a big train crash. And so, of course, we're going to be interested in that. But anyway, just look at the artwork for part two. I mean, you could already pick out a connection to the Hoover Dam right here, just with the sort of canyon feature here. We've got the Pat Tillman Bridge there, the O'Callaghan Tillman Bridge. That's one side of the Hoover Dam, and then we've got this arch here, which could represent the dam without it actually having to be a big concrete wall there, yeah? So this could be representing the dam. So already, just with the artwork, we've got maybe a connection back to that there. Anyway, what will I say? Let's go to the scene with this where this crash happens in the film, and I want to show you a number that's on a train, and I want to mention the train real quick. and as we go through this, we will just pick up on stuff. Okay, right here, who is John Galt? This is part 3, the sort of the subtitle for it. Who is John Galt? And again, we're dealing with the Hoover Dam, who's that girl references and all the rest of it. So the who is extremely important, and sure enough, who is John Galt is something that is a theme that runs all the way through the film. Okay, I don't want to really have to explain every last little bit of it, but again, it's really, you need to watch the film for a lot of this to make sense. Anyway, this train here is about to crash into another train. This is the top of a train. It's about to crash into another train inside a tunnel. Now, we've been talking about Madonna. If she does have some kind of potential fake croaked thing happen, maybe to do with the Channel Tunnel or some kind of train wreck, or maybe a railroad crossing, or just some random reference back to a train on that date. Maybe, I don't know, maybe she doesn't even die on that date. Maybe she just gets stuck in the Channel Tunnel or another train somewhere, and she's inconvenienced for a few hours. I don't know, like a good sort of death and rebirth thing would be to go through the Channel Tunnel. The train breaks down for several hours, and then it starts moving again, and Madonna just happened to be on the train, and she's reborn out of the Channel Tunnel. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a death, but it'll probably, if it was, it'd probably be a fake death anyway. And I'm waffling, but that's what we're kind of thinking about, is something that connects back with a train in some format. Okay, anyway, so the tunnel here, and what you'll remember is also in Back to the Future, we did have a little connection back with the Channel Tunnel and Biff's number plate on his car. And if you remember, when Marty's trying to get back they're in that Los Angeles tunnel, I can't remember what it is, the Griffin Tunnel or whatever it is, or Griffin Park Tunnel, Los Angeles Park Tunnel, I don't know what the hell that tunnel is that they're in, but that tunnel shows up in a lot of other films like War Games and etc. But that tunnel reference is very important, because guess who is in the film as well, and actually in this part 2 of the film series, is Biff himself. Thomas Wilson is in this film. Okay. Anyway, this train here, let's get on with it. This train here has a number on the top of it. This is the Army Freight Special. We've talked about the freighter, the freight references with Madonna. The Army reference with Madonna, of course, is rearrange those letters of Army, anagram that, and it comes out as Mary. Okay, and if you recall, we did in the summertime, we did that decode in Back to the Future, the For Mary decode, which connected back in with the 250th anniversary of the Army. So that Mary connection, tying back in with Donald Trump. It was on Donald Trump's birthday. I've got it in here somewhere, just so I could remind myself of this. Yeah. So the United States 250th anniversary parade, 250th birthday, June 14th. Okay, that whole thing. Anyway, this, of course, I think it has a star on it, the 5-pointed star on the side that we talked about with Madonna, and we also see that on another train. And what's fascinating about this number jump, right, what I'm going to show you with this number here, it's actually not a number jump, but this is actually a date that we're going to go look at. What is interesting about that is it ties back in with this train from GoldenEye that was all to do with Madonna. Okay, and so you have to go back and dig this stuff out of the back catalogue, but very briefly, there's a tank that derails a train. Again, the reference to this whole scene starts off with a reference to Boy Toy, and at the end of the scene there's a reference to Boy Toy, or Boys and Their Toys. So, and famously, Madonna has that Boy Toy reference with her. It's written on a bunch of her clothing and belt buckle and jacket and stuff in music videos. Okay, Anyway, there's the 5-pointed star. This is an army train. We've got a tank that blasts the front of the train as it's going down the tunnel. Okay, and so the 5-pointed star shows up several places, and we have this number on the side of the train, which is 745. Okay, and we will probably go to one of my charts to show you the significance of all this in just a second. But we've got a whole bunch of number jumps to get through, and I don't really know where I want to start with this. Anyway, let's look at the other train. This is the other train that's going into the tunnel, so there's going to be a collision between two trains, the army train and this regular passenger train. There's a number on the side of it we're going to look at, which is 34042, or we're going to reverse that, 24043. Okay, and we're going to look at that set of numbers as well. And what else do I want to say about it? There's a big explosion inside the tunnel. This train had actually previously broken down before the collision, and they put a steam train on the front of it. So it's really interesting. Anyway, let us go ahead and we'll start in. Let's just whiz through some of these bits and pieces here so I can show you some people that we're going to look at without spending too much time on it. But this is the main character, Dagny Taggart. Okay, and then we have all these sub characters here. But the other main character that we will be looking at, but not this actor playing it. Where is he? I don't know if he's even in here. Yeah, here he is, John Galt. Okay, only in silhouette in this one. Okay, but we will be, and I never even checked his birthday. Let's just have a look, see if there's anything interesting about his birthday. Oh, it's a 126 or just a 26. No doubt he probably has an interesting, some interesting number jumps as well, but I just haven't got around to. There's like a million. We've got a load up here. I've already deleted about the same again, just because they weren't good enough. You know, I'm trying to do just the sort of more important ones. And anyway, so John Galt's the other main character, and Dagny Taggart, and there's some other main characters as well as you go through the films. But yeah, the other so that's part one. So let's hang on a minute. That's part one, and what we're going to do is we're going to note the release date, April the 15th, 2011. Okay, let's go to part two, and I'll show you, the people that are in this. So we've got a different character. This is the lady, the actress playing Dagny in this version. So we're going to look at some number jumps with her. We've also got, I don't think I've got any number jumps for this dude. I did have some up, but we're not going to look at him in this one. This is the main character we're going to look at, which is Kip Chalmers, is the character that dies, and Rex Lynn is the guy playing, which you will recognize this guy. I recognized him, and that's partially why he sort of has the main scene in the train crash. He's going to die in the train crash, so this is why we're looking at him. Plus it says Kip right here, which is picked backwards, so we should pick him probably. Anyway, and again, the other main guy that's in here, connecting back with Back to the Future again, is, as we said, Thomas Wilson, Biff. Okay, in the tunnel there, in the oh, and he's also playing. Don't forget, he's also playing Donald Trump, because we're going to see some numbers with Donald Trump come up here as well. So, and this thing is really absolutely loaded with him. And if you just check out his birthday, you'll see that part one, 15th of April, yeah, Titanic stuff and all the rest of it, but this was released on his, if I'm getting it right, 52nd birthday. So part one was released on this is his 52nd birthday. This is really important with this film, because 2.5 is going to come up a lot. Like I just mentioned, the 250 with the train thing. Okay, and don't forget Madonna's Super Bowl was on. What I'm trying to say, Madonna's Super Bowl was also on 25. Okay, so 25 shows up a lot, and there's a bunch of number jumps with 25 at the end of them for this thing as well. Holding the ball up. It makes me think of the Lombardi Trophy a little bit almost. Anyway, so we're going to be looking at him in this. This is really important, okay, and his connection to Madonna. What else we got in part 3? We've got yet another actress. We don't have a picture of her showing up. And we're also going to look really at John Galt in this one as well. Okay? So we're going to be looking at these two people. Look, the Christopher. Okay? So, interesting names already. And there's nobody else in there we're going to look at. So, but we will be looking at release dates for all three. Who is John Galt? Who's that girl? Hoover the Dam. Okay, and the other release date, which I can't. I think I've deleted all the ones for that date. I think there was something interesting. We might have one left in there, one or two. But anyway, right. Let us begin with the number jumps. I'll have to try and remember which one's what as we go through. Oh, I've already forgotten what that one is. This is this character. Okay, this is the guy that dies. This is. Let's go to him because we might as well look at his actual. Rex Maynard Lynn. November the 13th, 56. Okay, got it right. November the 13th, 56, through to Madonna's birthday. I'm going to start with Madonna. 641. Okay, Donald Trump's numbers. Click it or ticket. Okay, 116. We're going to have that number show up again at the end of this thing with the John Galt character as well. Okay, the savior. He's the savior in the film. Okay, so there we go. Already off to a good start with some interesting stuff. Let's go to the next number jump. What we got here? This is the same guy, and we're going through to. This is the. Was that this part 2 release? What the hell was that now? Let's just double check this because I can't remember nothing. Hang on a minute. Part 2 release. What was it? Was it October the 12th, 12? Make sure I got that right. October the 12th, 12. Yes. Okay, good. Right. Sorry, it's the middle of the night. And if I don't do this now, all these number jumps will, when the computer goes off, they'll be gone, and it'll be like painful trying to redo all this. This is really interesting. What's going to happen now? 20423. And if you remember what was on the side of that one train, if I just click that, you see this numerology. Actually, that's not really what I wanted to do. But this is the 2-4 numerology, right? This is going to start showing up a lot. Okay, this 2-4 numerology. It's going to actually, there's going to be a load of it. So anyway, just bear this in mind. Yeah, just bear this in mind for a second because there's a number jump that's exactly the same as this coming up next. So that's the guy that dies to the film release. And if we do the girl that is now the actress for Dagny, her birthday, through to 49, 410, yeah, the eve going through is exactly the same. The clock stopping 410, 49 is the end of the line in Back to the Future, and then the clock stops, yeah, on the clock tower. This is exactly the same number jump here, more or less. Okay, 20422 with his birthday through to the release of the film, the guy that dies in the train, and the actress that is in charge of the railroads in that film, and through to this. So this is already absolutely mental, right? Keep going though. We've got some other random stuff. So bear those 224 numbers in mind. I think I've got another. I might have another number that connects to that as well. So those two synchronizing is crazy. Then we've got they released that film through to 3/8. Have a look for Madonna. Okay, click that one. I left it up here because the composite number is 424. I know that doesn't sound great right now, but as we go through here, we're gonna see more of these 424, 442, all these kind of numbers showing up, right? So bear that one in mind, right? Now, okay, now we're jumping back to something different. Okay, this is our we got some 2.5 stuff coming up, so there's going to be a lot of 2.5 stuff as well coming up. So here we've got 250 showing up as well, like the train, the army reference this year, the Mary reference, the 250 anniversary. Again, the film through to Madonna's Super Bowl. Okay, 2.5, because this is going to be important in this, because we're going to be looking at 2 Super Bowl dates that tie in sort of together. 2.5 showing up there, which is pretty interesting. You can also click this. I think this is interesting as well. 8.54 prime. Got a 318 in there. Got some other interesting stuff. It's also 8 months, 8 days. Okay, but yeah, the 25, that is pretty interesting with the whole 250 for Mary, but the army this year. Oh dear, I've got some stuff in here. This is some random stuff. Let's do it right now. This is that actor, okay, that dies in the train crash. There is some marginal synchronicities with Back to Madonna. I know it's not the right way around, but the numerology is kind of similar. Okay, so that is marginally fascinating, similar to train, dying on the train. Okay, well, let's get rid of that. And also Army Freight Special 195. 195, that's all I got for that. Not particularly great, just one match, but it's something. And obviously the special also with the 38 special, pretty interesting. And this is the other number that is on the side of that train, okay, or letters and numbers, and it's got a 26 on it, you know, whatever. But I haven't really looked at that very much. I just stuck it in there because I had them letters as a 26. Anyway, so we can get off of that now. Okay, marginally interesting connections there. Anyway, I have another number jump here. This is the actress, okay, that's in charge of the railroads, and I thought, well, better check the date that they open the Channel Tunnel to freight, because it's the Army freight. So, and we're going into the tunnel, so I thought better check to the Channel Tunnel opening date for the freight train, 8787. Okay, this is crazy. Yeah, because in Who's That Girl, you know, she drives in front of the freight train that's also in Back to the Future, and old Loudon there is shouting, freight train, freight train, freight train. Okay, but the release of this film is 8787. So this is just, you know, there's just little connections like this. This is mental, you know, 8787. Who's that girl? Who's John Cole? Remember, her name in this film is Nikki Finn, the Finnish. Okay, and here we go again. Now we've got some of these numbers showing up to do with this train, okay, 24043, going in reverse there. Okay, so let's have a look at this. 24043. I'm going from Biff's birthday, Tom Wilson. So that's his birthday. We're going from his birthday. I just thought I'd do a number jump out just to see if it landed anywhere special, and it did. It landed on 2925, which was Super Bowl 59. It was just a previous last year's Super Bowl. I don't think we really need to look at him again. Hang on a minute. And it was this Super Bowl. Oh, now we start seeing the 224 stuff showing in again. And you can actually see this number show up in a couple of these number jumps, the 2240. In fact, does it show up in that one? Not in that right order. I've got one coming up that it shows up with an extra number, but again, if you look at this, let's go back to one of these earlier number jumps. 2240, got the extra 2 on the end, but 2240 is the result in that game. Where was we at? Okay, in that game there. And this was the one, if you can recall, we did the decode on it at the time. It was the Chiefs versus the Eagles, and what was interesting about that is that, I'll see if I can write on here. The Chiefs logo, of course, this didn't come out very good there. The Chiefs logo, if you do the arrowhead up, and then the Eagles logo, you know, the eagle, on the back of the dollar bill in each seal is those two teams. Okay, so this was a particularly interesting Super Bowl, to say the least. Anyway, we'll look at the man of the match here in a second, the MVP, Jalen Hurts, and we will also, well, we just want to note this 2240, this 2-4 numerology here. Absolutely crazy with what we've been seeing so far. And we've got some other stuff to do with this as well. We'll come on to some of the characters in here just in a little bit as well. But I just thought it was interesting, right? Because let's check something else out here. Let's check out from that Super Bowl date through to 4-9. And I was like, oh my goodness, it's 4-2-4. Okay, it's kind of the inverse of those numbers there. And I was like, hang on a minute. From Tom Wilson's birthday to Madonna's birthday is 2 days. Okay, unbelievable stuff, really, when you think about it. All these numbers tying in, and that number jump there that's on the side of the train, taking us to that Super Bowl. Oh dear, you know, very fascinating. Anyway, and of course you could add those two sets of numbers up and make 666. You know. 2 plus 4 on the other one, 4 plus 2, and then 2 plus 4 again, and you're getting 666 with those two number jumps. Okay, I got the channel tunnel in there. I don't think we need to go to that. I've talked about it already, but let us now go on to, this is Jalen Hurts. Again, he's got the 87 birthday. I'll just add the 87 stuff there. Okay, 98. This is the MVP for the game. Through to Madonna's. 146. Shame it wasn't 00, 01. So we've got the Donald Trump numbers up here as well. Okay, unbelievable again. Okay, so connection back to Donald Trump. We've got to remember that in Back to the Future 2, Biff is Donald Trump. Yeah. Thomas Wilson is playing Donald Trump in that film. Okay. What else we got here? Okay, let's go. Thomas Wilson's birthday through to Madonna's potential death. 24434. I don't know if there was some. I don't think there was anything interesting about this, was there? Let's have a look. I don't think there was. Oh, I don't usually do the Dewey Decimal stuff. This is base 12. Okay. So counting 12. So out of all of these bits here, I mean, sometimes the binary might have something interesting looking, but this would be the one I would pick to look at, the base 12 stuff. There's 49,000. Okay, so that is pretty interesting, to say the least. And also the 289 number in the prime. That's shown up a lot. That has shown up a lot. Okay, so anyway, what else we got? Okay, this is so okay. We're on to the really big part of the decode now. This is absolutely, I want to put the F-bomb in here, but it's absolutely mental. Okay, this is absolutely crazy. So instead of, I did a whole bunch of number jumps with the 9527, and I was getting nowhere. There was some interesting bits and pieces, you know, But finally, I was like, I wonder if I just project out, if I just go out to 9/5/27, what is that from Madonna's potential death date on the 3/8? Yeah. When I did that, something very interesting happened. This number popped up. Okay, 547. Okay, I'm going to show you again what that references back to. But just while we're here, before I forget about it, 547 is also 101 prime. Yeah, Hoover Dam 101. Ground zero in between the Twin Towers. This is the place where you got to resurrect back out of, so to speak. 101. Don't forget the Golden Gate Bridge carries the 101. Now, this number here though, what is so mental about this? When I saw this, I just about went crazy. 547. When we go back to our connection here with GoldenEye, now you can see 547 is right on the side of this train. This is absolutely crazy. And so let me go show you the chart where this is all in. So this is the only bit that we really need to be concerned about here is this is the secular format of the Fibonacci sequence, Lucas sequence, and the pi sequence. This is different from the numbers of pi. Now, each sequence has 24 digits, and there's only 3 sequences that exist, okay, and then they repeat, okay. We've got them repeated down here, collated in this table. We only need to be looking between these 2 lines here, okay, and the center of this table is right here. Everything's in a logical format here, starting at the number 1, and you can see 1, 2, 3, and the cycles go on, and then these are just repeat cycles. Okay, and I have them labeled here so you can see which cycle we're talking, which cycle it is. Fibonacci, Lucas, or pi. Okay? The center of this thing, where we're looking for balance, the center of this thing, let me show you now with this train. Okay, here's the train number in GoldenEye. Here is the number that is on the tank. 343. You can tell I'm dyslexic. Okay. This is the train and the tank forming the cross, crashing together, coming together, right? James Bond is hiding out in the tunnel, which has this number on the top of it, right here. And Pierce Brosnan, who is James Bond, has the birthday 5/16. This is absolutely crazy, just in its own right, okay? And don't forget, we're looking at stuff to do with this date mainly, and what's on the other side of this? Madonna, okay? Hoover Dam, Madonna. So this is absolutely nuts as well. Well, let's take a little look. We could also draw a little line through from this 3 straight down here. So it's 3, 4, 4, 3, 2. There is a number jump that's coming up in a minute, which will be, and on that side of that train is also, I believe it's, what was it? 3442. So on the side of that, 0 in there as well. So on the side of that train, let's just go back to it so I can show you that those numbers on the other train, on this train, yeah, are also referenced in the center of that thing. Okay, they're referenced right here, and also the numbers that are to do with the army train there are also kind of here, not in the right, actually right here, not in the right sequence, but they're right here. They're right in the center of this thing. Okay, and in fact, well, we don't want to draw too many lines on here, but what I'm talking about is that stuff's in the center of there. Okay, but that's what's fascinating about the whole thing, is the fact that this is all in this sequence here with the 44 at the center of it. So of course, might be an interesting day on the 4th of April as well. There might be some kind of big reference, and here's the 5-3 stuff as well. It's so big, tying into this as well. Again, when you break these numbers down into bits and pieces, it's quite interesting. Anyway, forgotten what I was going to show you now. Okay, let's go to let's get rid of this for a second and get back to that number jump. Well, that's it. That's the bit that I wanted to show you, is that 547 is at the center of that thing. It ties in with the James Bond train that's all about referencing back to Madonna. The 547 is right here. It's right here. Okay, and that other number on the other train, you can get it right here. Okay, it's actually, what is it? It's 3404, and instead of a 3 it's a 2. Okay, so it's sort of coming through diagonally here somewhat. Oh dear. Anyway, I just thought that was pretty interesting, to say the least, that they kind of even used, we kind of got the same reference back to GoldenEye right there. Okay, if you can make sense of that. So that is absolutely crazy. Madonna's potential death date through to the projected out 9527, and this is it. That same number on that train. This is crazy. Don't need that. Let's do some of this other stuff. So, this is the first actress that plays Dagny, through to the 38, just interesting, 152. Again, what's this other one? That's the same gal through to the opening of the Channel Tunnel. Thought I'd have a look at that as well, just random stuff now. That was interesting. 500 Prime. What else do we have in here? This is her birthday again, through to the release of part 1. Was that part 1 that was that date? Yeah, part 1 was that date, wasn't it? Which is also Biff's birthday, 26262. Crazy. Okay, we're rattling through them now. Had some other stuff in here. John Galt was an 87, 33, just interesting stuff. I think that 129 showed up somewhere as well, a couple of times. Dagny Taggart also with a 125, not 152, but anyway, nothing major to report there, but interesting. Here is this dude. We're going to be looking at, so this is the guy who's John Galt in the film. Interesting birthday as well. February the 18th, which is actually John Travolta's birthday, and in 1977, when impersonating Elvis, dying on the toilet in Pulp Fiction, and Elvis dies in 77, I don't know, anyway. He's actually from Nevada as well, which is marginally interesting, and he's actually 49 years old right now, which is also very interesting. Film mystery titled Mystery 101. I get, you could probably, Wonder Woman 1984, he was in that as well, was he? Now. Okay, anyway, without getting too sidetracked, let's look at some of his number jumps with some of this stuff going on forward here, okay? Because there's also some crazy stuff with him, but I don't think I'm going to be on him straight away. Hang on a minute, let's see where we're at. This is I want to say this is the third actress that plays Dagny. I don't have a picture of her here, but through to Madonna's birthday, 7003. Why is that interesting? Obviously 72 is also interesting, but 7003, I wonder if that's some kind of prime number as well or something. Not really. What's interesting about that though, I might actually have it up. I've got it up here because I was like, I've got to remind myself to talk about that. Oh dear, oh dear. From Christmas through to 3/8 is 73 days. Okay, that is crazy. Don't forget, this is the day after 37. 73 days. Okay, so that's pretty crazy. What else do we have? This is completely random now. I feel like I'm missing a few number jumps here actually. Did we do all these? Hang on a minute, what have we got back here? Yeah, we did that. I am missing some number jumps. I might have deleted them out by accident. Oh, here it is. This is what I want. Okay. Well, anyway. So there's that 7-3 stuff. I think I just didn't go back to the right spot there, sorry. 7-3 stuff. His birthday through to her birthday. So this is when these two get together, right? So this is interesting because the 242 is showing up again, right? The 242 is showing up like with Madonna and Tom, okay? It gets more interesting. Let's take his birthday now through to 4-8. Now check this out. This is flipping crazy. He is on the eve of 4-9. So on the eve of 4-9, he is 49 years, 49 days old. Coming up to 4-9. Oh boy. That is insanity as well right there. What we got here? His birthday I thought, well, seeing as he's coming up to this date for the Hoover Dam, which would be the completion of 9/11, better check him to 9/11. 8971. I'm going to have some 179 stuff in just a second as well. Let's check that out. 1116 prime. Crazy. We had the 16. We had at the start of this, remember we had this, which was 116 prime. Okay. So that is pretty mental as well. Where was we at? Right here. We'll move on, Dan. Let's get this done. So I thought, but also check Madonna's Super Bowl through to, what we call it, Tom's Super Bowl. I don't know. To the 2-9 Super Bowl. 4753. Can't remember. This must be something interesting left in here. Oh, 97. So like I'm saying, we're getting onto the 179 numerology, but 97 is also really interesting just in its own right. We're talking about gold, 79. Atomic number for gold is 79. What else was with this? Oh yeah, that was what was goes back to the 25th prime as well with all the 2-5 stuff, and then the 97th prime is 509 to do with, and we were on Super Bowl 59 there, and oh, that might have been that 129 that I was thinking of. It was popping up. I'm sure there's something else as well. 129. Okay, just did that. Okay, so I've got Patrick Mahomes' birthday in because of course he was in that 59 Super Bowl there, through to Madonna's death date, and plus we had a bunch of connections with him. We've had so many connections with him in the past with Madonna as well. 1113. Okay, so 13 numerology coming up with him. And I thought also better check the 87, his partner in crime, Travis Kelce. But better check him as well, make sure, see what he's coming out at. So the twin with what's his name there, with Patrick. And again, I was like, put his birthday in through to that. 13303. So the 13s are popping up with these two, which I thought was fascinating. And of course, he's wearing the shirt 87, which we were just mentioned 87 as well, quite a bit. So anyway, what else do I have? The book is, the front cover of the book. Look at the red eye, the red eye, and going into the tunnel here. Oh dear. What do I want to say about it? Let's look at, firstly, the published date is 10/10/57. Remember 10/10? 10/10 is it's the $10 bill decode 10/10 with the Hoover Dam. Okay, look at the pages. 1168 in the first edition. Unbelievable. Okay, and I wanted to do a number jump with this. So we do the number jump out through to Madonna. Oh, and look, the 33 ones showed up again. Oh dear. Okay, and then also we do the number jump. What was the other number jump I wanted to do? got another number jump for it, I think, as well. Here it is. The number jump through to 38 from the book. Some random number there, but let's have a look. 222225. I don't know any twos, a bunch of twos and a 5 and the composite there. And then actually let's change this to 49 and see what this is as well. Okay, 222255. Okay, so the 25 stuff popping up again there. What else did I have? I felt like there was. Hang on, what's this number jump here? Oh, this be the last one now, and it'll tie us back in with Patrick Mahomes, I think. Again, the release of that film through to the 38. 5441. Let's check it out. 719 prime. Okay, 917 is Patrick Mahomes' birthday. Quite interesting. And we've had this number's popped up a bunch as well with other, connections we've looked at before. So it's quite a popular number to pop up. Anyway, that's the decode. This train is heading into the tunnel. Here he is, the guy that's going to die in there. The red zone. And what ends up happening, the steam train is going to crash into that. Which looks like a H there. Bada boom. Get away with playing just about a second of that. And then let's see if we can get this bit. The white star lines. Remember the Titanic. White star lines. Okay, and there's the mountain. It's just collapsed basically. Hang on a minute. We get the explosion coming out. Maybe not. Maybe it doesn't really matter. There it goes. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there. In the tunnel. I don't think I've got anything else to add to that, apart from the fact that I did get rid of a load of number jumps, and also I haven't actually done. There's so many actors and actresses in the whole thing because I kept switching people. It's just impossible to do all the number jumps, really. But I thought it was good enough. But the main one to take away from that is the top of that train with that date on it, the 9527, and then that time back in with the train in GoldenEye. Absolutely crazy. Thanks for watching, and I will catch on another one here fairly shortly. Alright, cheers. Bye.